Hello, my fellow friends and bookworms. Happy summer! As much as I am a spring girly, I am very excited for summer reading because summer is one of my favorite seasons to read in, and I've got quite the summer TBR stack to get through this year. Because of my ambitious summer reading plans, I thought it would be pretty fun to kick off this season with a 24-hour summer TBR tackle. So in today's video, we are going to be spending 24 hours just getting through as many books on my summer TBR as possible. I do have a stack of 6 summary kind of books on my immediate summer TBR, and in this stack we have The Hike by Lucy Clark, we have Live No Lies by John Mark Comer, The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating by Elizabeth Tova Bailey, we have Kala by Colin Walsh, and The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. Is there any relation? I wonder. I didn't realize I had 2 books with authors with the same last name. How silly. And you're probably like, Faith, that was only 5 books, where's the 6th one? Well, it's on my Kindle. And the 6th book that I have on my immediate TBR, and the one that I actually started last night, is The Thrashers by Julie Soto. This one is a young adult mystery thriller. We also have a literary type of thriller in a way, and then we have a literary fiction. I think this is nonfiction. I'm honestly not 100% sure. It's been on my TBR for a very long time, so I figured this was the time to read it. This one is a Christian nonfiction, and then we have another mystery thriller. I've been kind of in my literary fiction era lately, but since those reads tend to be a little bit slower, I have been in the mood for some mystery thrillers. I just need something that's fast paced. So in between all my lit fic that I've been reading, I've been loving sprinkling a little bit of thrillers here and there. We are going to be doing this 24-hour reading vlog a little bit differently. I feel like each time I do it a little bit differently. What I have planned for the next 3 days is just setting my timer whenever I'm not sleeping and just read until I get to 24 hours. But either way, I have to finish this challenge within 3 days because I am going out of town on Tuesday and it is Saturday, so I have today, Sunday, and Monday to get all my reading done. And every single time I try to do it to where I set the timer only when I'm reading, I always forget to turn on and off the timer, so it's never actually accurate. So I'm just gonna start the timer once I wake up and then stop the timer once I go to sleep. I'm gonna make it easy this time. Like I just said, I did start The Thrashers last night, and this one is about a group of friends and a girl from their school that I believe they kind of tried to include or kind of talk to here and there, but this girl was obsessed with this group of friends and really wanted to be involved with them. She ends up offing herself, apparently. That's what it looks like, at least. And so I believe throughout this book we're kind of just trying to figure out what happened. I've heard this kind of gives Pretty Little Liars vibes, and I love PLL, okay? I grew up on that. So I'm very excited to get those kinds of little vibes from this book. I know I'm not gonna get to all 5 of the other books that I have on this TBR for the video, and I can't even really say which ones I'm more anticipating. I'm just gonna kind of go with my mood and see what I want to pick up next. In this video, alongside tackling our summer TBR, we are just going to be doing a bunch of fun summery things. Of course though, the 2 days I try to film this are the only 2 days that are kind of gloomy and cold. It's only supposed to get to 65, 75 within the next couple days. But you know what? It's still summer. It's still warm. So we're gonna do all the fun summery things. So this morning, here in about an hour and a half, me and my mom are going to go to a little you pick flower farm and pick our own bouquets. So that's gonna be really fun. And then I'm gonna come home and just binge read my book. So for now, I'm going to read until I have to go, and then we'll see you at the flower farm. Hello friends, we are back home and I am so proud of myself because look how beautiful these flowers are. I could literally cry. This is so beautiful. So where we just went today is actually the same people and place that we got my wedding flowers from. So when me and Danny got married, I had a coworker that him and his wife run this little flower and you pick farm on their property. So he let me, my mom, and my sister come and pick a bunch of flowers and make our own bouquets for our wedding. And so it was so nice to be back there. They have such a beautiful piece of land and they take care of it so well. So that was really fun. And now my flowers look really pretty on the table. As far as reading updates go, like I said, I did start The Thrashers last night and I got, I think about 3 chapters in, but the chapters are a little bit long, they're not super short chapters, so I can't remember what page number I'm on, but so far I'm very intrigued. I can definitely see how it would give Pretty Little Liars vibes. Honestly, I love a good young adult mystery thriller with a very popular and kind of prestigious group of friends. And then also this morning morning and like to and from the flower farm just now, I was listening to The Hike by Lucy Clark. So I'm kind of in the middle of two different books right now. And so far I'm really enjoying The Hike. I'm a couple chapters in. I love outdoorsy books in general, but especially outdoorsy thrillers. I just feel like when you're backpacking into the woods, you're off grid. It just adds a whole nother level of unease and suspense, like in the story. I'm having a great time. I'm absolutely starving now though, because I only had a banana for breakfast because I haven't been grocery shopping yet. So I definitely need to figure out what... Perfect timing. Well, now I don't have to worry about what I'm doing for lunch because my Hungry Root box just got here. So now I literally have so many really yummy meals to choose from. And Hungry Root is excitingly and so kindly the sponsor of today's video. I literally can't even like explain to you how hyped I was about this collaboration. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I have a lot of health issues, and recently I found out that I do have an autoimmune disease. So with that, my diet has literally been all over the place. There's a lot of things that I can't have. There's a lot of things that I have to be really careful about, like how they're prepared. And something that I've been extremely struggling with lately is finding like fun and different recipes to try because my diet is so limited, which is where I've really loved Hungry Root. Hungry Root is a grocery and meal delivery service. They're basically your personal shopper and your nutritionist all in one. Because of their extensive meal list to choose from and the fact that most, if not all of them, can be prepared in under 15 minutes, it makes meal planning and prep so much easier, let alone the fact that you don't have to actually go to the grocery store, which hallelujah, because grocery stores stress me out and I get so overstimulated. Today for lunch, I'm making a sweet kale salad with some grilled chicken breast. And then for dinner, we are having some lemongrass chicken with microwave sweet potatoes. I love this so much because I don't feel like I'm eating the same thing every day, which is a big struggle that I've had with all these changes to my diet that I've had to make because of my health. This has made eating fun again for me. I really love the online process as well. You just put in how many people you're needing to feed, any dietary restrictions you might have, so gluten-free, dairy-free, proteins that you prefer. Like you can seriously customize it so much that it's perfect for each individual family. I just have me and Danny to feed, and this has made both of our lives so much easier because I generally spend, I want to say like around 2 to 3 hours a day just like meal prepping and baking and cooking. So this saves me so much more time so that I can focus on being more creative or doing more hobbies. I really love that there's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's foods, and all of their meat is top quality and free from hormones and antibiotics, which again is very important for me as a person who is on an autoimmune diet plan. For a limited time, you can get 40% off your first box plus a free item for life by clicking the link down in my description and using my code FAITHS. I'm going to prepare this super yummy food in like 5 minutes and then get back to binge reading my books. Hello friends. It is now about 8 o'clock at night, so I think I'm going to stop my timer here for today. Again, I have not been reading this entire time. I just started the timer when I started reading today and then stopped the timer for when I'm stopping reading for the day. So right now we are at 9 hours and 46 minutes. And I feel like I actually got quite a bit of reading done today. I got 109 pages read of the Thrashers, and then I also got 122 pages read of The Hike. So in all, I read about 200 pages today. I've just been kind of going back and forth between the Thrashers and The Hike. I don't know why. I just feel like if I'm reading two different books, it just makes the time go by fast. I don't know. That literally makes no sense, but I've just been enjoying like going in between two books for some reason. In the Thrashers, I am about 32% of the way in, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I feel like the pacing is pretty quick. I mean, it's kind of confusing because it goes kind of slow and then like something really crazy happens. Then it goes kind of slow and like something crazy again happens. So I don't really know like what to make of that, but I'm fully intrigued. I'm really interested to know like what happened behind the scenes and like why this girl passed away. I also feel like there is a lot that we don't know about this friend group. Like I feel like people are keeping secrets. There's definitely some things I feel like our main character does not know about the group of friends. I don't know. It's just something's weird. Something's weird, and I'm excited to know what that is. And it definitely is giving Pretty Little Liars because they are getting like anonymous texts. They're not anything bad, but they've gotten texts from a number that they don't know know who it is. And the first one was just, I think, "Are you having a good summer?" or something like that. So they were like, okay, that's kind of weird, but like it could be literally anybody. But I think as the story goes on, they're going to continue to keep getting texts. So do we have another A on our hands? And then going over to The Hike, I'm probably about 30% of the way through this one as well. And I feel like both of the books that I've read from Lucy Clark so far, I've read One of the Girls, I think is the other book I've read, and then now The Hike. And there's a common theme among her books where it's always following like a group of girls, a longtime friend group, and they're going somewhere or doing something like vacation, and something happens on the vacation. So I'm kind of getting these same exact vibes as the first book that I read from her, which I don't know, like I kind of like, but I also kind of don't, because I feel like it's kind of like the same idea, just a different group of people and like a different scenario, but it's like the same thing. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I do like the concept. So I also like am liking that. I don't know. I'm having really confusing thoughts about that. So far, I'm liking the characters. We have a pretty good like variety of characters, I guess. Like one of them is a famous singer, one of them's a mom, one of them's like single, living their life, you know, like they're all in different like phases of their life, I guess I would say. And so we do get some complexity with our characters. Like I said before, I just love a good like outdoorsy book, so I feel like the vibes in general are ones that I generally enjoy. I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. Something I remembered with the first book that I read by this author though is that it was kind of a slow read. It's more of like a contemporary thriller where it's like mostly fiction with like some suspense here and there, but the thriller part isn't really until like, you know, the climax, the reveal. So it's a little bit of a slower read, but it's also just like entertaining, I guess. So I'm having a good time with both my reads. Dinner was amazing. That little meal that I made was also from Hungry Root. I'm calling it a night though because I started rewatching Lost on Netflix. And honestly, it's not the best show, but it's kind of for some reason just like my comfort show right now. I think it's because I've rewatched every season of Stranger Things like a million times already this year, so I need a break. So I'm gonna go get cozy, watch my show, go to sleep, and then I'm going to start reading right when I wake up in the morning, so I will start my timer because I've been waking up around 7:30. We'll check back in tomorrow. Hello friends. We are now about halfway through our 24 hours. We are at 12 hours and 12 minutes. I'm about 60% of the way through The Thrashers. I'm on page 197, and there are I think like 350 pages or so of this book. And then I haven't read any more of The Hike. In The Thrashers, it has taken a little bit of like a supernatural turn, I guess I would say, which was a little bit surprising, but I also kind of in a way saw it coming. I think I like the way it's being done. I don't know, I usually don't like when things take like a supernatural turn, but it's nothing like too crazy. I definitely 100% think that the other friends are keeping things from our main character, Jody. I also get a little bit of sketchy vibes from the victim's family. I don't know, like there's some weird family things going on there. So I'm really interested to see like how that unfolds. I also get some sketchy vibes from the sister. Her name is Hannah. The victim's name is Emily. So I feel like something could be going on there. So far this book has definitely kept me intrigued. It does keep kind of going back and forth. Like we'll be kind of just like hanging out, doing something, and then like something crazy will happen. Someone is definitely trying to harm the group because like freak accidents keep happening and like little things here and there. It's just like obviously someone's like attacking these people. I don't know, but I'm very intrigued to see how this all like comes together in the end, because right now like I have some ideas. I'm speculating, but I don't know. I could be pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna finish this before I start reading more of this. So I'll see you guys in a little bit with my final thoughts. Little reading update for you guys. We are now at almost at 16 hours. We're at 15 hours and 53 minutes. I finished The Thrashers and I have so many things to say about this book. Well, actually really not that many things, but I was very shocked and kind of taken aback at what this book turned out to be. First of all, I think I'm going to rate it like a 3 or a 3.25, which was way lower than I expected to rate it, but I'll tell you why. I was super invested in this book, and then something kind of started happening around the 50% mark that just really started throwing me off. First of all, I think the structure of this book was not my favorite. You know, usually with like mysteries mystery thrillers, you have some build up, you kind of get to like know the characters, you kind of get introduced to some like unease or like something's kind of going on, and then it like kind of builds intensity until we hit like the climax, the reveal, and then things kind of like all come together and close out. For this book though, it didn't really feel like there was any mystery. Like, you know what happened from day one, and throughout the book you're kind of just figuring out in a way kind of like what led to this girl like doing this to herself. Definitely check trigger warnings, I will say. Once it started getting paranormal, which I did not expect from this book at all, it does get paranormal. I didn't care for it, if I'm being completely honest. I felt like I kept waiting for a plot twist. I kept waiting for something to be like really surprising, and it just like never came. You basically know what's happening the entire time, and like, yes, there is some suspense because like things keep happening, like these freak acts, like things just keep happening, like weird things keep happening, but you know what's going on like the entire time. So I just like wasn't at all surprised. I think my favorite part of this book was like the tiny romance that kind of budded towards the like middle and end between two characters. It definitely kind of feels like an enemies to lovers type of deal, and I ate it up. I loved it. Aside from that, I feel like this book could have been so much better if it didn't take that like paranormal turn and the author kind of just like figured out ways to, I don't know, tie things together better. That is also just a personal opinion. This book has really great reviews online. It's got like a 4.14 star rating, so I know I'm definitely in the minority here, but I don't know, that felt so weird, and like literally by the ending I dropped the book and audibly was like, what the heck did I just read? Like, what was this book? Anyway, so moving on now. I also got 50% of the way through The Hike by Lucy Clark, so now that The Thrashers is done, I'm going to continue reading this one. Although this one also is kind of hints that it could get paranormal, and so I need to look up if it takes that route, because if it does, I might soft DNF, because I don't think I could take 2 paranormal books in one day. Online, it doesn't say that it gets paranormal, so it better not. I think I did update you guys with my thoughts at like 30% of the way through. It's gotten a little bit more intense since the last time I updated you guys because one of our characters has kind of gotten lost in the woods, which isn't really a spoiler because, I mean, it's kind of a given, and it doesn't seem like anything's gonna really happen with this. It kind of feels just like a diversion from maybe some other things that are kind of brewing. I feel like there also is some hidden or like secret drama within the group. It's like one of those situations where the group has been friends for so long that there's obviously some like harbored bitterness, resentment towards each character for one reason or another. They've just been friends for so long, and it's like kind of inevitable to have certain feelings, I guess, because of things. But I also feel like there's things that we haven't been told yet, because there was something mentioned earlier in the book where they were like, I can't forgive her for this, and like we don't know what happened, so there's drama in the background, and I'm very excited to see what that is. Hello, my friends. We have finished the hike, and we are now at 21 hours and 28 minutes. So we've only got about 2.5 hours left if I am doing math correctly, which I think I am. So, final thoughts on the hike. Ratings wise, I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.75. For this one, like I said earlier, I think the atmosphere in general just gave it a very like eerie feeling and just like made the suspense so much more suspenseful. There was some drama within the friend group, which I ate up. If you don't remember a few seconds ago, my jaw literally dropping. That was because we found out something within the friend group. Some tea was spilled. There was something kind of going on in the background that these friends did unintentionally stumble upon and get involved with that resulted in things escalating. But I don't feel like the climax, the reveal, so to say, was as interesting as them just like surviving the terrain, being off grid. I don't know. I had a great time with this book. I don't know specifically if it would be considered a summer book because it seems like it's a little bit chillier winter of a season, or they are in Norway. So I don't know if Norway is just like a little bit chillier in general or if their seasons are a little bit different, but it definitely wasn't as summery as I thought it might be. But also when they talked about like the temperature of where they were at, it was very minuscule. So in my brain, I still pretended that they were on like a summery hike. I do like how these books go in between each character. So we are in 4 people's point of views, which at first can get a little bit confusing because you are following like so many people. But after the first couple chapters, you kind of just get used to it. And I actually really like it because then you kind of get to know each character and see what's going on like inside their minds. I also feel like in both of Lucy Clark's books that I have read, her characters are just very real. Like they struggle with very real things. So I also appreciate like that aspect of her books. So far, both of Lucy Clark's books that I've read have just been like a good time. They're not great, they're not bad, they're just like a good time while I'm reading them. So definitely worth the read, but don't expect anything like mind-blowing to come from them. Now that this is done though, we are reading our next book, which I think I'll be able to get done within the next 2.5 hours because it is a very short book, and that is The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating. I mean, look, this book is tiny and the font on the pages is a pretty good size and there's not like a lot of words on each page, so I think I'm gonna get done with this pretty quickly. I'm so excited to read this. I love snails so much. If you don't know, if you're new here, I do have pet snails. They have been my special interest for a couple years now. I just think they're so fun and cute. I love what they symbolize, just like taking life slow. And I've had this book on my shelf for I think like 2 or 3 years, so I need to get this read. It is a super nice day out, so I kind of want to just like lay outside, binge my book, and I do also need to finish packing because I am going on a trip tomorrow that I'm very excited for. So maybe actually first I'll finish packing and then I'll start this book. Hello friends. Yes, I am in a new location. If you can't tell by the room behind me, you might be able to know where I am. And yes, there's going to be a vlog coming out next week, so don't fret. But a little bit of a reading update. I did finish The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating on the plane ride over here. And might I say, this book was so ridiculously cute. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but still very, very cutesy. I also forgot to tell you what it's about. So this is a nonfiction, and it basically follows this woman who has this illness that kind of like paralyzes her in a way. So she's bedridden, and one day her friend brings her a little garden snail or woodland snail, and by her kind of like watching this snail go about its life, it kind of teaches her about her own. Throughout this book, I definitely thought it was going to be more, I don't know, like profound, and I thought it was going to be a little bit deeper. I do really love her story, and I did really love the way that this was all written. For it being 160 pages, I feel like there was a lot packed in here that I really enjoyed. The little bottom sentence though says, "The sound of a wild snail eating is a remarkable journey of survival and resilience, showing us how a small part of the natural world can illuminate our own human existence while providing an appreciation of what it means to be fully alive." So that part of the synopsis just makes it feel like it's going to be, I don't know, like just deeper and explore more of the what it means to be fully alive portion. But I feel like this kind of talked more about like the snail itself and kind of like some science behind the snail, which I personally love because we all know I'm a snail fanatic. I did end up tapping this book quite a bit because not only was it like cute and did I enjoy seeing the way that like this snail changed our author's life, but it also is packed full of like fun facts about snails in general. So overall, I had a great time with it. I don't know like what I would rate it. I think I would probably do like a 4-star, but because this is a nonfiction and it's like someone's actual life story, I want to give it a 5-star because I don't know, I just feel weird like rating that anything less, but I think I would say 4-star because I really enjoyed it, but again, just wasn't quite as like impactful as I thought it was going to be. But I also really loved learning about snails. Either way, I think this is a really good book to read. It definitely felt very like spring summery, and I really enjoyed kind of the atmosphere that she created in this book and set in this book. I can't remember where exactly she lives, but her house is, I believe, like it's like an old house of some sort, so that was really fun. And then she kind of describes like the woods where the snail was found. So I don't know, like the atmosphere was fun. I just had a good time with it. But that does conclude our 24 hours. This 24 hours I did very differently than the rest of the 24-hour vlogs that I've done. But either way, I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time. And summer reading is now officially kicked off, and we've now officially kicked off summer. So that's fun. Like I said earlier, I will be doing vlogs while I'm here. If you don't know where I'm at, stay tuned because I will tell you in the next vlog. But until then, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.